here on Market Journal, it's our chance to catch up on the markets this week, focusing on the livestock markets, the cattle markets in particular. But Mike, let's start here. You're back on the grid. How'd that feel after being about a week without power?
That wasn't very much fun.
No.
It really isn't. We have generators, so we're operational, but it just makes life harder, and who wants that?
No, nobody.
But we're back up and going, so that's good.
Stock cattle markets, futures rebounding, box beef exploding
Yes.
this week. Is this a sign that the correction is over and higher prices are headed our way?
I think so, but the thing that interests me and concerns me at the same time is the volatility. It's just whipping all over. So you've got people trying to break the market and press it lower, and luckily it just keeps coming back. And I think it will come back. We're coming into our biggest beef demand time of the year. And I feel pretty good about it. Now, the question is, what's out there to derail it? Well, there's always the wonderful black swan thing, but you still wonder at some point, does the customer just say, I'm done, it's too high, I can't do it? I don't know. I'm pretty concerned when I see deals like DoorDash being willing to finance your food. That's a problem. If people are having to finance food, that bothers me and makes me a little nervous. But the overriding thing is I'm sorry, there's no more cattle coming to the market. There's going to be less and less and less. So typical supply demand, I think we just push higher here for a little bit.
All right, well, that kind of brings me to a viewer question I wanted to ask you this week. It has to do with proteins, people choosing beef over pork in particular. Lean hogs continue to not rally the same way cattle have, much to the demise of pork producers.
I think they will, though.
Okay. Give me your thoughts on why people continue to choose beef, why pork hasn't been selected as a good alternative, and where the lean hog market's going.
If you look over time on pork, and I know I'm this way, demand is just completely priced inelastic. It just doesn't matter what price does, it just kind of stays flat. And we don't have the export markets to China right now, or like we would like to. So the pork thing just doesn't move. I mean, you've seen pork, it's almost free. It is so cheap compared to pork, and if people aren't gonna switch now, they're not gonna. People like beef. Beef's got great taste. Hamburger is just an amazing thing. I remember back in the 90s, all us cattle guys are like, people need to cook roast. No, they don't. Let them eat hamburger, grind those roasts up. Nobody cares. I like hamburger. I have no problem with it. So I think that's become a real staple in people's diet. It bothers me when I go to the grocery store and I wandered over by the meat counter, and for 93% lean hamburger is $9. That's pretty stout. But I think people just want to stay there. I don't think those other proteins, the two white meats, don't have the flavor, and I just don't think people like them very much. I know we don't eat a lot of it at my house, so that's the only explanation I have for you. I just don't know. Plus, it kind of helps that you have people like RFK saying, hey, all this beef stuff's really good for you, because it is. And so I just think all that helps.
Okay, we're equal opportunity protein around
there
here.
There you
go. Let's talk feeder cattle prices. Eye-popping. Look at the August futures
really
knocking on the door of $290. How is that putting a squeeze on folks like yourself buying feeder cattle?
Oh, it's just incredible. I had cattle offered to me yesterday. I have a little break-even sheet that I use, so I can know where to buy cattle. They're $20 over my break-even. So if I wanted to buy those cattle were going to be instant $120 losers. Why you want to do that? It never works well starting in the bottom of the hole. You've already dug your hole, and the best you can do is hope to get back on ground. I don't do that. I won't do that. I don't prescribe to it. I had an order buyer call me yesterday, and he's like, why don't you see what you can do with these? And I hung the phone up, and I'm like, I'm not going to do anything with them, because I'm not going to feed that, and that is totally unethical to try to talk a customer into feeding it. It's going to be a big struggle. Now, it'll help when the grass guys get done with their stuff, because they always go to the sale barn glassy-eyed and drunk, pay whatever. Feed yard guys, it's going to be tough to keep cattle in here. This is that part of the cattle cycle I don't like, because it's really stressful, because empty feed yards don't make money, but you're better off with an empty pen than you are with a pen full of losers. So that's my thought on it.
Last time I had you out here late in January, if memory serves me right, you were talking about the moisture situation, kind of those guys running on grass during the winter with wheat, I should say, down in Oklahoma, et cetera. But where do we stand right now? Because the conversation of herd rebuilding continues to come up with the latest cattle on feed report.
You know, we had a conversation about that the other day, and it was interesting because I've said, I've never gotten off this, ranchers don't keep expensive heifers, they sell them. Well, now you've got bred cows selling for $4,000. How many years is that bred cow going to take to pay for herself? So now even at these prices, some ranchers are going, hey, my heifer's worth $1,700, $1,800, $2,000. That's half the price of that thing. I will keep my heifer, but it's not going to happen in the western part of the country because we're in drought. If we don't have grain and we don't have grass, and we don't have feed for these cattle, it's not going anywhere. I have argued with my one broker all year. He just keeps going, this is just gonna be like 14-15, it's just gonna be like 14-15. No, it's not. It rained in 14. We had the biggest corn crop in history at that point. People replaced heifers, and then 215, the cattle were back and it just went boom. It's not doing that. It's gonna extend this cattle phase a little bit because people can't replace. Now, the minute they can, you better look out. But at this point in time, I saw a map the other day. If you draw a line from Minneapolis down catty corner down into Texas, everything east of that line is supposed to have above normal precipitation. So corn should be reasonably priced, but all of the west of us are going to remain in a drought. And it's really tough for a lot of people already. So I don't see a lot of replacement coming.